Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm D Love. My channel's D Love. I'm happy to have you here. I'm going to use this tarot today called the Occult Tarot, and it's a look at the dark tendencies of humanity, basically. And I've been looking kind of from a position of like light a lot recently using this flow deck, and I thought I feel compelled to look from a position of like a darkness in our society, and to kind of just get a feeling of where we are. I look at these a lot of times. This one's called Dakar Abia, and it's the knight or prince of pentacles, or earth, and you can see it's like a compass. He holds a sword. He stands on an orb or an earth or a planet. He has some land all around him. He's got the face of the sun. He's a very good example. And he teaches the virtues of herbs and stones, makes birds appear and behave as though tame. So he is a friend of birds, and it has a lot of associations of historical meanings behind it, but I tend to look at the personification and to see these almost like, and I know this might sound a little silly, but like stuffed animals, like those long Furbies, or like gremlins, or any stuffed animals really that personify the humanity and whatever it stands for. So I'm going to use this deck today. I just want to give it a little explanation. I just saw one that I drew. There he is. That's Gamagan. Beautiful horse. And he's the Five of Pentacles, another Earth card. And the Five of Pentacles shows like a desire, like a feeling of being on the outside, kind of looking in, and a desire to belong. And it says he teaches all liberal sciences and gives an account of souls that died in sin. Or as I like to think of sin as like a shortcoming, a feeling of something left to do, or something they so pine or desire that they could have done differently. So we'll look at some of these. I mean, that could easily hold. Let's talk about children, since we're talking about stuffed animals. That could so easily hold a child's. Let's set up like this piece. The horse that I just showed you, Gamagan, I've had this piece of driftwood for a long time, but it very much is associated with this. And I even drew him once. It indicates like a deep understanding, to want to understand the things that hold us back, is what he represents to me. And let's say a child feels held back in some way. It doesn't really matter what way it is, it's circumstances, and they have a stuffed horse like that. That stuffed horse is able to contain those feelings of that child in some way, and can take that horse and run free with it. So it's that is an explanation somewhat of how I look at things that some people consider scary. So I'm going to shuffle this deck. And I mean, we're surrounded by things to try to put us in a position of fear. And I would say, including our colors, it's a hijacking of the natural capacity in this world. We're born with 2 innate fears, according to science. I don't want to, I mean, think about where they got their information, the experiments. They go back a long way. from more and more that I'm learning. But there's two innate fears: the fear of heights and the fear of, not necessarily fear of falling, the fear of height and the fear of loud noises, natural fears, innate fears that we come in with. The rest are learned, supposedly, according to science. It makes sense. And babies seem to support that, even the way you are connected with them and can see that when they're infants. Some more than others are more fearful. Okay, I'm going to shuffle this up and then do a Celtic cross. My cats. Here we go. Okay, beautiful. The King of Pentacles. I guess we're going to talk about masculine energy today. He's a funny looking king. Again, you could probably see a kid having a little statue like that, or maybe you do see kids having statues like this in their rooms. Turns any metal into gold, gives one high offices and titles, and answers questions about past, present, and future. There are dates associated with the tarot, and this is a late August, September, early September to mid-September card. It represents people born during that time, real down-to-earth people, masculine energy, and they're, really generally hardworking, thoughtful, yet fiery people. They do have placement in August with the sun, and also they have placements in September with the Hermit card. So they're really speculative, some good balance of gregarious and solid and introverted at the same time. And this is called Barith. So our energy is the king of earth, a masculine energy, a person who is kind of in charge. All right, we'll go from here. What's crossing this masculine energy from being that in charge, or what is supporting that in charge? And we have Seer, the Six of Swords, and this is in traditional tarot. This is the card of logos, of great understanding that follows a natural sequence of events, and it just makes sense. Logos can be used to make the nonsensical sensical, and vice versa, but it still follows a very natural pattern. And let's see what the occult tarot has to say about it. Occult means difficult to understand or secretive. That's all it means. Look up words, folks. Use your dictionary. Fear not words. Travels the world over in an instant and brings anything anywhere. Wow, it's beautiful. Look at that. I'm not going to explain these cards much more. Gives the truth about thefts and hidden treasures, willing to do anything one commands. So this is the Six of Swords, which is air, which is our words. This is our thoughts turning into words and then quickly becoming action. And of course, action needs energy, and So we're talking oxygen, material, and fire coming together. So this is, you know, we have inside of us what it takes to do what we command ourselves to do. What are our crowning thoughts, or our utmost thoughts, our dominant thoughts on all of this so far? And it's the devil, Moloch. And he makes one worse off than ever before. So it's all the challenges. It's our own opposition to ourselves and to what our logical selves tell us. Not even logical, or reasonable. Our inner, our own past, so to speak, tells us. Makes one worse off than ever before, tricks mortals into being bound. So I like to think we trick ourselves into being bound. Someone asked me one time, who takes D-Love down, or what takes D-Love down? What? I think it was what? And I said D-Love. I mean, certainly something else could come in and just, there could be a hurricane, but yet I have put myself in a position to be hit by a hurricane. Ultimately, who takes me down? Me. I mean, if a hurricane was something that I wasn't aware of, or I was so afraid of, I would probably be somewhere else, like the mountains, where I wouldn't, maybe then I'd fear an avalanche. If you're gonna have fear, you're gonna have fear no matter where you are. I think you're bound by your own fear. I'm bound by my own fear. Accepts child sacrifice. And let's face the facts, folks, in this world, there's some child sacrifice. I often think of the paradox where parents will lock up valuables in a safe, even when the babysitter's coming over. Does that make sense to anyone? Make sense out of that. Make some logic out of that. Okay. And what is our grounding energy? It's temperance, or I like to think of it as the art card, tempering those things. Like for me, what I just said, I want to say like to people's faces sometimes, but I have to temper that energy because it doesn't help the child to challenge the parents. You see, often that doesn't help the child to challenge the parent. It sometimes hurts the child. Okay, so this is temperance, and it teaches geometry and liberal sciences, makes great noises, and warms water. Yeah, so it's actually alchemy. Cooking can be involved in it. So it teaches geometry, which is making sense of of this earth itself. It's things that can be measured and put into practice both. Look at that beautiful card. That's an angel. Temperance is an angel. Okay. What's leading in? What brought us to this king of earth? The Queen of Swords. Andre Alphas. She also teaches geometry and measurements, increases one's intelligence, can transform a person into a bird. That's a thoughtful person. A bird, a bird sees the larger picture by nature, sees different ways to go, And geometry goes along with that. She looks like a peacock. Another stuffed animal idea. If anyone out there, and I've said this before, this is a wonderful idea um, to make little figures out of. Okay, and where's this king of earth, this masculine dominant force of our earth leading us? To the hanged man, making some decisions. And in this deck, it's the skinned man. So it's shedding your skin and looking at it and saying, what is this meat bag, so to speak? What is it that I'm personifying out there? Let's get down to the brass tacks of us all being the same. And look, he did it himself. That is real mirroring imagery. Teaches natural and planetary sciences, lights corpse lights above graves, and moves bodies so the souls may be stolen. Perhaps stolen back sometimes is the way I like to think. The way we handle death in our society is what this card is talking about to me. Is that's one of the things that has been absconded, in my opinion, from humanity. Is like a real is a handling of our actual remains. My mother and I just talked about it the other night, and feel that taxidermy should be something that's not frowned upon. I think I mentioned this already. I'm not going to mention it again, but it is coming out again. Okay, we are the Prince of Cups. Here he is. Is he riding a bull? Well, he sure is. A heifer of some sort. Causes all the love that may be both of men and of women. So it looks like maybe his name's Beleth. It looks like maybe we're all feeling a little romantic right now. We're thinking about the love of men and women, and this this water of air. He comes out a lot for me in different decks. It's like let love carry all of you. Let your thoughts just go by about love. Like there's an unattached feeling about this. The time frame on this card is late October. It's a Scorpion, and he's riding a bull, which is they're directly across from each other, and not directly, but especially considering the wheel has been distorted. But just let your dreams run wild in love is what I am picking up from this. We are that. We are letting our dreams run wild in love. And then and then we got the Four of Cups for our weather. And it's Shax in this, and look at him. Seen him in some movies your kids watch, maybe? Okay. Steals or fetches anything requested, including money and horses. Reveals secret things, brings questionable familiars. So, like, let's say this is us, but this is our weather. So we're just out there kind of running wild right now. Some of us. and picking up maybe some people. It's like familiars are kind of like acquaintances. We kind of know them. And so he's out there he brings questionable familiars to the party, is what we'll say. Funny. Okay. Next. And that's the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is often like when you're so comfortable in relationships, you're sitting around together in your underwear, there's spilt stuff, and you're just like, we're having bored. You get bored almost, and you're like, get lackadaisical in your relationships. I think there's a eighth grade or maybe a sixth grade vocabulary word. Okay. What we fear most and want most is the Eight of Swords. Huh. We fear being tied up, and we want most to understand that we tie ourselves up. And we want to be free. Let's see what is this folklore? Let's see what folklore stands for. Kills by drowning and can sink ships. Controls the seas and the winds. Will spare any life by request. Wow. I want to tie this to the traditional meaning. Kills by drowning and can see. I'm thinking, because understanding that the Eight of Swords is tying yourself up in your own thoughts, it can kill something by drowning it in doubt or in fear or in like what if this the worst case scenario. It literally can sink ships. Controls the seas and the winds. There's the light of it, and will spare any life by request. So our thoughts have that power, and eights are a place of learning, and we can learn how to shift energy. So it's best case scenario, away from worst case scenario, away from the killing and the drowning and all of that. Okay. Beautiful. It's beautiful energy. What's all this heading us to? Like what people call outcome, which can so easily change just like that. We know that. I mean, just one little change in this can shift this. So, but right now we're looking at the Nine of Cups, which is self-love. This is a real strength, and you see that in this card. Furas. Teaches logic, ethics, and the value of herbs and stones. Can make one invisible. Helps one to be intelligent and long-lived. Can recover lost items and find treasures. Yes, that is a beautiful place to be headed. That is the Nine of Cups. That's the treasure that's the treasure chest that holds the 9 cups of your wishes and dreams and admirations and all the beautiful things. And you see, it's just this strength. And in wands, in bringing your passion and feelings together, passion, feelings, and intelligence together, and filling your cups with these, I mean, an outcome like that is phenomenal. This has gone long this morning. I just was wanting to make sure that everyone understood this beautiful deck of cards, and our our advice is the Queen of Cups, the Phoenix. You can see it here. I've been just immersing myself in this energy lately, and I just love it. And I'm so happy that we pulled this pretty bird. teaches all sciences, performs wonderful poetry, and follows all requests with excellence. So we're going to end with that. And thank you all so much for coming to this space. I appreciate you, and I thank you. Thank you. If any of you would like to reach out to me, do it in the comments, or if you know how to reach me personally and would like to, please do. Thank you. Have a lovely day. It's been a beautiful dawn. Thank you.